everybody. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Dice Cult, and welcome to On the Backs of Gods. I will be your DM for tonight. My name is Jillian, and I'd love to introduce our players to everybody. Who'll give you a quick hello, a nice wave, introduce themselves a bit. First off, we have Frank.
Everybody. Drink.
We have Kyle.
Good evening.
We have Matt.
Did you say Matt or Mac?
Matt.
Oh, wonderful.
There's no Matt here.
I would hope not. Hi, I'm Mac. Good to see y'all.
We have Josh.
Hello, everyone.
We have Ray.
Hello.
And we have Christo.
Aloha.
This is the whole team. We're excited to be here for our premiere, our first stream for On the Backs of Gods. And I think we're ready to get started. Is everybody good?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Perfect. I'm going to start off quick by just describing the scene, getting everybody involved just so they know where we are, and then we'll jump right into it. Okay. So our story starts in a world that is very similar to ours in a sense that a long time ago, the Viking mentality, the way of life that existed in Scandinavia, those who follow Nordic gods, those who at one time were pillagers or just farmers or people living a way of life in a different place. We are taking from those traditions and using some of them here, but in this world there is magic and everything has taken a slight turn. There was no Ragnarok, but there was a battle between gods and chaos 10,000 years ago, which resulted in killing of many high-ranking gods of the pantheon, including Thor and Freya and even Odin. Their bodies now, as Ymir's before them, have covered the earth, and their magic and their corruption has covered them, becoming mountains and forests and rivers, and people have just been trying to exist around this corruption and this magic the best way they can. And our story starts in a town very near to an area of corruption known as the Valley of Odin. We are starting our story in Gulander. It is a small village in the west. If you move in close, there's a surrounding area of trees and a river. It's very cold. There's a bit of snow. It's not cold enough to stick. It'll be gone by morning, but a small amount of snow begins to fall. And the sound of merriment and parties and laughter are very apparent because today is the day of a wedding, a day of celebration, and hundreds of people have gathered in Gulander to experience it. The town is stuffed full, and the smell of food and flowers and meads and ales is very prominent in the air. And it's just, there's a hum, there's an energy, a vibe of excitement of the festivities. It's not a huge village, about 400 to 500 people normally, and everyone's outside, including people from other areas, other villages. And there is a small inn called the Hartsville Inn, which is now fully stuffed, no longer have any rooms available. There is a town square with a large statue in the center where people are prepping, putting up chairs and places for people to watch the wedding. And about a football field's length away is a large building, a celebration hall. And inside it's, that heat when you go into a building that just has a large fire roaring. And there's the soft sounds of music, of people kind of adjusting instruments, soft plinking sounds, the sounds of plates, and the sounds of just people prepping and preparing for the wedding that's going to begin soon. In this room, you can see there are two men that are sitting together. They're sitting at a side table off to the side a good bit, and they have multiple containers of ale in front of them that they have been tasting. One of them is a dwarf with a huge smile on his face, accompanied with a nice, also very jovial, human-looking man. Frank, would you please describe your character for us?
Tordric Castmaster has very long brown reddish hair. He looks a little worn in the face, but he may not be very old. It's just there's some wrinkles there, but it may not be from age. He's always smiling, as you stated, and he's got a suit of armor on with some priestly robes in front of them, cut to the sides so that they can fit with his rather large belly, beer belly, that is. Yes. He is tasting his drinks, and he is very happy. It's time for a ceremony, just about.
All right. Currently, Tordrecht is working with this man. You can see that they are mixing together drinks with a large jar of honey next to them. It seems working possibly with ratios and styles and different ways to make the best one that they possibly can for a very special person. Assisting Tordrecht and also going to later be assisting in the festivities just the same. Josh, would you please describe your character for us?
All right. My character's name is Roshan, and he usually can be found at the inn in town, sometimes entertaining, sometimes helping out his family. But today he's wearing his best and finest clothes, dark colors, but fine silks, and he wears a nice red cloak over top that's bound together in the front with chains. He wears his hair, his dark black hair, long and combed over the right side of his face, and the left side is shaven. Another interesting thing is that he wears a high collar all the time. It's probably definitely just modesty that keeps all of that skin from showing. And were you here a couple of years ago? You might have seen a double of him, but sadly his twin has disappeared, and but he's doing okay. He's a lot better now that it's a couple of years later.
All right. As you both are working and talking together, earlier in the day, you were helping the groom, Ave Hemming, who is also chief of Galunder, the town you're currently in, helping him go through his rite of passage to be a man and to go through the process of actually getting married, even though he is 40 and has been the chief for 20 some odd years. But you were there to support him and help him as friends, and you have now gone off to work on this. As you guys work on your drinks and talk and laugh and have a good time, you are approached by an older woman who kind of makes her way. She pushes her way through the crowd to make her way over to you. She has white hair, which is braided and put up on a very high bun, and she has on a tan cloak that is fur-lined. And you see that in the fur there are also feathers that go around the collar. And over this, she has a talus, a prayer shawl, that has stitched gold 3 spears onto it, the sign of Golveg. She walks over. Pardon me, Tordric?
Yes. Tordric stands and bows.
Yes, I wanted to introduce myself. I am Runa. I am the Gothi, the priestess for tonight. I will be leading the ceremony.
Oh, excellent. Well met. Care to try some of the drinks? They're pretty good.
She looks over at the table at the multiple drinks in a line. Which one would you recommend?
Well, I don't think I've ever drank with you. Do you like strong or strongest? Smiles.
I think because I will be talking to a large amount of people later, let's go for strongest.
That's exactly what I've been doing. Yes. And he kind of sits down and moves over here and come on, have a seat. Have a seat.
She kind of looks around. She looks like she was in a bit of a hurry, but can't deny a bit of just company. She's like, oh, all right. And then she sidles up next to you in the seat, kind of sitting a good bit taller than you as she looks down.
He looks up. Oh, yeah, sorry. Grabs a drink.
Roshan kind of awkwardly puts his drink down. He's never drank with the village elders before, and he does have reverence for them. So this is a little bit of a boundary that he's unsure about.
And Tordrek, did you hand her a drink?
Oh, yes, with both hands.
You hand it up to her, and she takes it. She takes a sniff of it, and you could see just a little bit of glossiness on the eye, a little bit of at the strength of it. All right, bottoms up then.
Yes.
And she, very politely, very daintily, she takes a sip. And there's a moment where like her mouth thins out and her eyes close. It's great. Definitely very good. Thank you.
Yes, we're hoping that the groom likes it. I hope he likes to drink.
Oh goodness.
Yes.
Well, we'll see, I suppose. I may have to take a step back on this, maybe back to medium for me next time. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself just so we knew each other. And also, I hope this does not bother you or upset you, because I know you do not follow Gulveig. She pulls out, kind of, it was knotted over on her side, she pulls out another prayer shawl, and this one has the 3 spears on it. It's tradition that the Gothi and the Celebration Master both can wear shawls of Gulveig. I was hoping you would wear it, and that it would not make you too uncomfortable.
Well, if it fits, no, of course. I may have to slit the sides, though. We check.
Right. The prayer shawl it's more like a scarf that hangs over the shoulders and goes this way.
Oh.
When you do put it on, it is a little bit long. It kind of hits more in the thighs, but it fits well enough. It does not seem like it was made for you, but it fits the best it can.
Excellent. He's very proud of it.
You wear it very proudly. She smiles at you, and then she turns her face to Roshan. Roshan, I can assume that you will be part of the entertainment this evening as well?
Of course, ma'am. I'll be playing for the wedding and probably afterward as well.
Of course. Very proud of you. She puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of gives you like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's kind of like a condescending kind of smile and nod, but it's like you got this. You got this, buddy. Believe in you. Almost more like speaking to a child, even though you are
not. He's used to it by now.
He smiles and looks over the group. Well, the celebration is going to start very soon. You're going to want to get the best seats you can. They only put out 5 rows. Everyone else is standing. That's what I've heard. You watch as she stands up and adjusts her shawl, and she heads out and kind of like gives a motion that like, you should follow me soon. And quickly, at a pretty rapid pace, she makes her way
out. Should we just leave this here to prepare for the ceremony, or?
We better go.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. The 2 of you hop up and follow behind the Gothi, Rona, to get hopefully good seats for the event and not have to stand for the whole ceremony. When you walk outside, the amount of people in town is staggering. There's never been this many people in town. The fact that everyone came to basically see Ave, he's a very well-respected chief who worked with many of the surrounding communities, and people are there to support him and his family. Roshan, as you start to make your way over, you see that there's areas that near the ceremony area that look to have hors d'oeuvres or small like snacks on them. And you see that your mother is talking to somebody you don't recognize.
I would go right over and see if I recognize their face. If not, I would introduce myself.
All right. You see your mother talking to somebody and quickly make your way over that way. Over that way. Meanwhile, 3 figures approach Galunder from the woods. 2 of them are more the normal humanoid in appearance, a bit shorter and more slender, especially in comparison to their very tall, very broad-shouldered companion, who is carrying the large hide of a bear. Christo, would you please describe your character for us?
I am Gorbjorn. I am a half-orc barbarian. Defining characters, I have long hair, kind of pulled back, very messy and dirty. A scar running down my face, down to the side of my cheek. Clothing is very simple, like it's just tattered furs for a vest and like whatever I could stitch together for pants. Carrying a greatsword on his back.
All right. Gorbjorn, you approach town with 2 companions at your side. One of them, an elven man, as he goes closer to town. Would I be wrong to say that possibly a bit uncomfortable with the large amount of people, the large crowds?
This is
Oh, go ahead.
this is probably the largest assembly of people that Fen has ever seen,
Right.
and he's less than comfortable in this setting.
Kyle, would you go ahead and describe Fen for us?
Fen Varmascaria is a wood elf male, very young. Elves tend to have a kind of ageless appearance to them, but even looking at him, you can tell that this is a young elf. About 5'10", very slender, light skin, but brindled, kind of has stripes almost on the sides of his face and neck. Hair cropped short on the sides, a little longer on the top. He's wearing studded boiled leather armor that is the nicest armor he's ever worn, but he still sticks out like a sore thumb amongst even the worst dressed of the village folk around here. He's wearing armor very clearly to a wedding and has his long bow and quiver on his back because he won't be caught without them.
All right. As you all approach town, you get closer, and right on the border of town, there is a large observation tower where you can see that there are 2 people up top. You can see that they have bows kind of put over the side, and they just seem to be scouts that stay on the outskirts just to be sure. They don't seem to bother you in the slightest. The 3rd member of the group, a less pointed in the ears, but still slender and shorter, a human woman who currently has a large smear of blood on the side of their very nice cloak, but continues to make their way into town. Mac, would you describe your character for us, please?
Certainly. I am a human ranger, about 5 feet 4 inches tall. Kind of a dour sort of expression going on, not the least of which is because of the obviously very nice cloak that has an obvious, very large, kind of gross looking stain on it. On top of what can be glimpsed of some red underneath the cloak, closer to her body, against her leather armor. She's got kind of an olive complexion, long black hair, kind of braided, hanging down to her middle back. She's always kind of like looking around, kind of like glancing, trying to keep on top of her surroundings. She takes stock of both of the watch folk at the tops of the towers as they're coming into town and kind of like gives them a nod. She knows them, they know her. She holds herself loose but ready, her head kind of forward. She seems to be on edge.
All right. The 3 of you make your way into town, starting to hit where the crowd is beginning. Is there something you guys wanted to do? You can see that the sun is soon to set, and that means the ceremony will be starting shortly. But is there something you wanted to do beforehand?
Nana, I think we should see your brother and tell him about the troubles we've had. I don't want to ruin his special occasion, but I'm not sure this can wait.
I'm in complete agreement with you, honestly, Fen. I don't think waiting any longer will be much of a wedding present for my brother. Let's go.
All right, Gorbjorn, are you going to stay with the group, or are you going to make your way to the ceremony, which sounds more appealing?
Gorborn wants a drink.
Of course he does. He's probably gonna dump that bear skin at the gift table and just run over to the open bar.
A gift table.
No, he sees it, the gift table, and it's gonna practically lay over all the gifts, so he just holds it for the whole night until he could literally give it to Ave himself.
Okay. You make your way over, observe a table that has multiple gifts on it. You hold on to your bear skin and go to find the nearest drink you can. While Nana and Fen make their way to find Ave. Would you give me some perception rolls real fast?
Perception, certainly.
Or investigation. I'll take either.
Perception would be better for me. Oh, wow! Nat 20!
First roll of the game, Nat 20.
Oh, wow!
There you go.
A boon of good luck right there.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
A 19 for me too, so I'm
not shabby. Not shabby.
Dirty 19, but a 19 nonetheless.
Nana, finding your brother, even in a huge crowd, seems easy enough. As you scan over, the first thing you see is red hair on a very tall man, bearded, big, braided, huge beard, who you recognize as Ulf. And you're like, if I see Ulf, Ave cannot be too far. And of course, Ave is next to him, smiling and laughing along. Ulf's voice can be heard from the entrance of town, as you can just hear him laughing and nudging and clapping Ave on the back. You two make your way over. What do you do?
Brother, dear, I hate to take you away from your revelry, but there's something rather important that Fen and I need to discuss with you rather urgently.
Ulf turns and steps in front of Ave. Well there, the man from the woods comes out. Spooky ghost man of the wood. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, friend. May we please have a word with Ave?
Well, I suppose if you ask so nicely.
It is very important, Ulf. We won't take him away for any longer than we have to.
Of course, of course. My sister will find you if you take him away too long.
Yes, we're very well aware.
Ulf claps Ave hard on the back, and then makes his way back towards where the ceremony is going to happen. Ave steps forward, a man in his late 30s, early 40s. He's not very muscular, but he stands tall, a bit broad in the shoulders. He has olive skin and white splotches that make their way up and over to his beard and face, like vitiligo. He has long braids in his hair, and he is wearing a cloak that is currently pinned together with the 3 spears, which, Nana, you would recognize as the 3 spears brooch worn by chiefs. He looks to both of you. You see as he looks to Fen, it looks like he goes out to shake your hand, and then he pulls back, and then he gives you a nod.
I give a polite bow.
Hello. If you have something urgent to discuss, I am all ears, I suppose.
While we were collecting things in the woods, we were collecting Gobion as well. We were attacked by an abomination.
It was a boar. A boar as large and disgustingly smelling as your red bearded friend. Even more so. This is a creature that has left the realm of the living. Jorborn slew it with his greatsword, and we promptly burned it. This is the nearest I have seen any creature like this to the village.
And to full corruption.
I see. I'm sorry if I don't appear incredibly shocked. Thank you for informing me. But I am aware there is a problem, and I hate to say, I don't want to say today is my special day. Today is Hertha's special day, and I truly do not want to take that from her.
Well, neither do we. Yes, of course not. But you didn't see it, Ave.
Nana, I understand. I am listening. Let me get through the ceremony, have a drink, dance with my wife. Afterwards, meet me by the statue of Golve. All of us can speak, then you are certainly invited into this conversation. But for now, I would advise you to make your way to the ceremony. The front row is for family. Then you are welcome to sit with our family. I feel like you've been a part of it for quite a while now, so by all means.
I am honored, but I prefer not to.
Understood. I will not force that upon you.
Sit where you're comfortable, Fen. But we certainly will meet you again after the ceremony, Ave, as quickly as can be managed afterwards. Of course, have your fun, and please don't let your blushing bride catch wind that I'm trying to steal you away early, or else she's going to tan my hide.
We'll meet after. One good drink, one good dance, and then business, I suppose.
As always.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and squeezes, and then he looks to Fen again and gives a nod, and he turns and walks off.
Nana, I hope your brother is taking this as seriously as the situation quite clearly is.
My real hope is that he wasn't already aware of how bad it was, and he's not moving into his wedding faster in order to get it over with before taking on something dangerous. It's the type of thing he'd do. Twit.
All right, you two make your way over to the ceremony. Nana, I assume you sit in the front. Fen, you see that there are 5 rows of seats, and then there are people standing behind. Where would you like to go?
Fen is quite torn between not drifting far from the woman who dragged him to this event that he does not want to be at, and following his natural instinct and disappearing into the shadows somewhere. Quite at the last minute, he's going to sink into the seat right next to Nana and kind of stay there like a nervous child.
Nana will kind of like, not exactly like wrap an arm around him or anything. She's not going to make a production out of it, but she'll kind of like set a couple fingers just on his forearm, just small, gentle pressure. I'm here. You're going to get through this.
Your dress is quite ruined. It does not look as nice as it did when I first saw you. Are you sure you shouldn't have changed for such an event?
Well, there hardly was any time at all, honestly, once we arrived back in town. Ceremony's going to start much too soon. I'll simply improvise.
All right.
All I'm saying is that I was made to dress nicely.
I was dressed nicely.
All right. You two kind of softly bicker back and forth about Fen being forced to wear nice clothes. Meanwhile, while the festivities continue on, a road-worn somewhat dirty looking woman makes her way into town. A bit hesitant at first. And then there's the whiff of food and ale in the air, and it instantly has her attention, and she is making her way into Gull Under, her destination, and luckily enough, a hot meal. Ray, would you describe your character for us?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of dirty looking, but pleasant smile on her face anyway. Sort of like a darker tanned complexion, sunburned multiple times over. Her hair is probably used to at one point be like a brown, but now it's kind of a sun bleached. And it may have been straight at one point, but now it's kind of just a mess of like, it's got a couple twigs, maybe some branches, there's a leaf over there, and then it probably was braided and then never brushed again. And nothing seems to bother her though. And as she walks along, you can see she's wearing a dress that's more patches than dress. Who knows which piece of cloth was the actual start and which is like the one that's, yeah, whatever, I don't know. And she's got this large pack on her back, and she just kind of makes her way in. And I think apart from all of that, I think the most noticeable feature is that her all exposed skin that you can see is covered in these sort of purplish blue markings that are kind of this like, they're like squiggling lines that go all across her face and neck and hands and everywhere you can see. But yeah, seems to be looking for some food.
Yeah, the very strong smell of meats, like the smell of salt and fat, is prominent on the air. And you see that a few people are taking from this table that has like a pig resting on it that's been carved up a good bit. Some people are, but it seems people aren't jumping in too much, possibly either trying to look polite or not wanting to take everything or waiting for what is certainly inside of the celebration hall. What would you like to do?
Oh, well, I mean, why are you waiting? I just go in and grab a piece. It smells amazing, so might as well.
All right. You make your way over and you start to get yourself some of this beautifully carved up meat. When you take a piece off, like the air is so cold and the meat is so hot, there's that steam that comes off the second it's exposed. As you take this, you see approaching you from the side is a woman. She's in her 50s, and she approaches you and looks a little bit kind of I wouldn't say zoned out or confused. She just kind of has like a faraway look and a smile on her face as she approaches you. Talia, Hal's daughter, how is your mother? And she has you by the shoulders and then brings you into a big hug.
People here are so friendly. Hello. How are you?
It's so good to see you. Your mother, is she well?
I haven't spoken to her in a while. Not sure, but I'd assume yes.
Of course. Well, you should sit with us then. You will sit with us, right?
Sure, I was just a little peckish, so I thought I'd get some snacks, but yeah, I'll come.
Oh, no, of course. Roshan, as you approach, you see this woman with her patchwork dress and her dreaded hair. As you approach, you do not recognize her. She does not look familiar to you. And you see your mother embrace her and then continue to speak to her.
Oh, you're muted.
I can't hear you.
Hi, Mom. And who is this here? Are you here for the wedding?
Oh, your mom turns to face you. She touches your cheek softly. Oh, Rose, you look beautiful. And she turns and she looks at you, Saga, and just stares.
Saga.
Oh,
Saga Bloom. Nice to meet you.
This is Saga. seems a bit confused by the moment of turning around and not exactly recognizing you, but you quickly gave her a name which she was able to latch onto and use.
So as his mother introduces or tries to introduce Saga to Roshan, you hear her call him Rose, and like immediately his expression turns dour, and but quickly he shakes it off and moves to shake your hand and says, "Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Roshan. And how do you know Ave?"
Who?
Today is the wedding of Ave Hemming. That's why we're all gathered here today.
That's wonderful.
Well, the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Feel free to join in the festivities. I'm sure Ave wouldn't mind.
Why, thank you. Oh, everyone is so nice here.
Roshan, your mom, Frona, she puts an arm around Saga's arm. Yes, come sit with us. We're sitting right near the front.
Oh, I'd love to. She looks over the table, grabs a few more pieces of meat and a couple vegetables, and goes off to sit with his mother.
As your mother walks by you, Roshan, she once again touches your cheek and puts out a hand for yours.
I'll take her hand and follow her to the seats that we had prepared. I saved mine with my lyre sitting on it, so no one else took it.
You're just so everyone knows.
Yep.
This is my seat. Please don't take it.
Reserved in the second row.
All of you make your way to your seats. As the sun begins to set and torches are brought to light, the area is lit, and you can see the occasional flash of light that catches a snowflake. It's very picturesque as more people gather around, and you watch as the gothy Rona approaches, and everyone starts to quiet down and quickly make their way to their seats if they hadn't before. She walks to the center of town, the center square area, and there is this statue of a woman who you can see she's not very dressed. It's a nude statue that has a piece of fabric that follows along some of the body, and her arms are up and out and reaching, and there is a look of anguish on this woman's face, but the mouth is curled into a soft, gentle smile. As the Gothi approaches, she stands next to the statue and looks over the group and waits for everyone to quiet. This involves her occasionally clearing her throat and giving a tap on something to try and get everyone's attention from the sheer number of people coming to celebrate. But inevitably, the crowd quiets down and the focus turns to the Gothi and the large statue of Golveg in the center. She smiles over the group, placing her hands together. Tonight, we are going to celebrate a union, though it be a bit unconventional. Normally, I preside over weddings of quite young men and women under the caring eye of Golveg, and she motions to the statue. People who are just starting their journeys together. This is not the case for tonight. Ave Hemming's son, our chief of 20 years, blessed by Golveg, and learned man, a man who long ago courted Hertha Lawn's daughter. They built a life together and a thriving community, and she motions over the group, the large amount of not even people from Gulunder, people from all over the West that were impacted by Ave and the magics used in this town, the teachings of Golveg. They swore they would never wed, but I am honored to now have officiated 2 chiefs' weddings. Ave and Hertha may not be your average newlyweds, but we shall celebrate their love and commitment and the legal binding of 2 wonderful, influential families. And she raises her arms. People start to clap, and there's a bit of a cheer. You can hear that some people want to get a bit rowdy, but like you'll see somebody like nudge somebody in the side, like, wait for it, just wait a minute. And everybody starts to settle back down. The Gothy clears her throat. Ave Hemming's son, join me under the guiding eye of Golveg. You watch as from about the back of the rows moving forward, Ave enters. He is wearing his fur-lined cloak with the 3 spears brooch on his neck and a sword at his side. He is escorted by a woman in her 60s who had blonde hair and is currently graying, with blue eyes. And she escorts him down. Nana, you recognize this as your mother, Amma, and she takes him down the aisle. Ave looks over at you and kind of gives you a nod and a smile, and his mother escorts him to the front. She kind of pulls him down to give him a kiss on the forehead, makes her way back to sitting next to you, Nana, and she leans over and she's like, "You're next," and gives a smile and then looks at Fen and kind of gives a big smile. As mothers do when they just see that you have a friend, just being very excited. The Gothy steps forward after acknowledging Ave. Now, for our second flame, Herthalon's daughter, will you join us under the guiding watch of Golveg? And coming her way down the aisle is a woman in her 30s with an incredibly intricate braiding of hair that took who knows how many hours to complete. A couple of you got to see it halfway done as she fled earlier to get some relief from the constant hair pulling, but now is finally completely done. She's wearing a white dress and a red cloak that is fur-lined, and she currently is wearing a flower circlet. She is flanked on either side by a red-haired man and woman, matching her hair color. They both come to escort her. They remove the circlet from her head and place a small golden crown that consists of a few crystals that stick upwards and many that dangle down over her face and on the sides. The most apparent thing about her, besides the now beautiful golden crown and the sword at her side, is her stomach, which is huge and round because she is in her 3rd trimester. She is incredibly pregnant, minutes from bursting. Some people have joked that it could happen at the wedding and possibly have put bets on it. She makes her way down, escorted by her parents. She stands in front of Ave after she has to waddle a bit to get down the aisle, so they walk at a bit of a slower pace so she can keep up. They kiss her each on the forehead, and they sit down. The Gothy continues the ceremony. The couple shall now present their gifts. You watch as the pregnant woman unsheaths the sword from her side and presents it to Ave. I present to you the sword of my father. May it serve you well in battle. Ave then pulls out his sword. You can see that both of these swords have rings tied on with ribbon to the bottoms. He smiles at her. I present you my sword to one day be a gift for our child, and may it serve them well. And he reaches forward and he places a hand on her stomach. They then take a moment to exchange swords and rings as they place them upon each other's hands, sheathing the new swords. The Gothy, you can see she's caught up in the moment. She's like, right. Now, I am going to ask from assistance from the audience for this part. I am going to need 3 witnesses to pay homage to Golveg and represent her rebirth by taking one of the spears of Golveg and stabbing it into her body.
Oh.
Anyone may volunteer for this.
Saga's already standing.
Saga stands up in one of already moving forward.
All right.
She had attempted to stand a few times, but realized that it wasn't okay. But now it's okay.
She was asked to stand.
Gorbjorn would have joined as well.
Okay, so, and it sounds like Nana, you're also going forward. So Gorbjorn and Nana, you move forward and are quickly joined by, you recognize as the woman that you saw entering town a bit before you after you had exited the woods.
Okay.
A bit of a smile on her face. Oddly, very excited about this, that she's going to be part of this. You all walk forwards towards the Gothy. All right. And you see she pulls out 3 spears made of the same stone as the statue, and she presents it to each of you, giving you a nod, and then looking at Saga and being like, all right, and also giving you one of the spears. She then places Gorbjorn in the back because he's taller and can reach this spot, and the 2 women on the sides. You can see from where you're standing, there are slots in the statue where the spear can fit. Golveg was thrice stabbed, thrice burned, and she continues to be reborn. And she motions to the 3 witnesses.
Nana will take her spear and push it home into the slot in the statue.
Okay.
For Lady Satyr. And stabs.
I drop the bear pelt and go in with both hands.
He's just been carrying it around the whole time.
He's just like, I can't. All right, here we go.
It's my +1 right now.
All 3 of you stab the spears into the statue of Golveg. There's again another moment where people cheer, and then other people are like, oh, and then they join in. Very excited about the festivities, and I think just getting to have a good time. I think you can see the group grows a bit antsy at the idea of, we get to drink after this and get to go have a good time. So there's a bit of buzz of energy. Now, the couple shall set alight the goddess, and she shall rise from her own ashes. And you watch as Ave and Hertha take a torch. They walk over to the front of the statue, place it in the basin at her feet, and the statue is engulfed in flames. I'll have our 3 witnesses roll me perception real fast.
Natural 20.
What?
You got a natural 20?
I'm glad you did, because I did not.
I got a 23.
And Nana, what'd you get?
7.
Nana, caught up in the whole rigmarole of it, you're just like, I have a job to do, I gotta focus on it.
I'm already looking for the next sign.
It's a good thing you were. Gorbjorn and Saga, you kind of catch this out of the side of your eye, Gorbjorn, and Saga, as you actively are looking for this. You watch as Gorbjorn, you see that Ave's hand does a bit of a swish, and it causes the fire to dance up and around the statue, giving a bit of fanfare that he was trying to kind of sneaky do behind the back. And like the audience, like, oh, and then there's mumbling and whispering.
Show off.
Saga, as you see, he flicks his hand and you watch as the magic swirls around the statue. You see now that the light illuminates around him, that it brightens up his face, and that he, and from his angle, stands more brightly than Hertha does in the current from where you are looking.
Yes. I think I'm going to walk up to him.
Okay.
Excuse me, would I be able to talk to you?
Before Ave can even look at you, Hertha has turned fully, And she squints in at you, and she goes to speak, and Ave like places a hand on her shoulder, and he looks at you, and he places two hands cupping your face, and he looks at you. Of course. How about we speak later? And he lets go of your face and he leans forward to whisper into your ear. How about after my wife and I have a drink and a dance, I will meet you by this very statue and we can have a conversation.
Yes, that fits. That fits the prophecy. Thank you.
Happy
That's
to
it.
assist you. All right.
Am I close enough to hear that?
With that 7 perception,
I guess not. Nope, just
Bjorn can hear it though.
But I care none for Ave's tricks and prophecy.
You're like, oh, gross. This is magic talk.
Gross.
He tried to get me into that when I was young. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, he's trying to show you books, and you're like,
Nerdy, gross.
I'm good.
You can throw them pretty far.
Very effective over long distances.
The Gothy seems a bit taken back as she watches Saga go back to her seat. Right, well, the rest of the witnesses may also sit. Thank you for your assistance.
Nana goes back to her seat, but she's kind of like, at the very least, curious about the other person who wasn't from the village who came up to the altar alongside herself and Gorbjorn. Just sort of like wondering who she is, why she feels called to involve herself in this business. It's weird.
Why did you leave me alone here, and who is that woman?
I don't know who the woman is, and I left you alone here because I needed to be a part of my brother's ceremony, or else my mother was going to kill me.
I did not need to be a part of your brother's ceremony, but you made me come here. You
I
told me I
know.
wouldn't be left alone.
I was 5 feet away. I was 5 feet away, and now I'm back. I'm right here.
The Gothy kind of watches everybody and waits for the last person to sit. Ave and Hertha are now bound together by the burning fire of Golvik. May the rest of your days be filled with happiness. Please, may you now kiss. And Ave takes his wife by the shoulders. He touches her cheek, and they both lean forward and kiss. He then leans forward and down and kisses her stomach. Everybody cheers. You can hear Ulf, woo, woo, just like yelling. He is on the opposite side, but still in the front row of the seats, just in a completely different spot.
With the bride's family rather than with the groom's family.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, no.
Sorry, that was a cat. I shall now escort the happy couple, and I turn the race and the rest of the festivities over to our celebration master, Torvik, who shall hopefully make it more interesting, because I heard some complaints from the last wedding regarding my celebration mastery, and that is fine. I am not bitter. I shall now take my leave and escort the couple to the celebration hall, and I shall turn it over to his capable hands. And she motions to Torvik and starts to clap, hoping people will join her.
Clappy, 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 clappy.
Roderick slowly walks up to the area where the festival is going on and the celebration has just occurred. The union has just occurred. He's still clapping his hands, and he's very excited. He's got that smile. He's got that energy. He really wants to have that drink. And he looks at all of you. He says, "Oh, what a beautiful ceremony! A wonderful couple. You must be very proud. May the 9 sisters bring you all unity and celebration through your days." Now, as you notice, the bride and the groom have left. They're going to the celebration hall to have a drink and eat some food. I don't know about you, but I would love to join them. But tradition has it that we need to find out which family, the brides or the grooms, is going to do the honors of serving the other drinks tonight. It's tradition.
Ulf is already standing. Woo! And he is he's like tightening his belt on his hands.
This is tradition, and it's very important. So on the count of 3, if you're part of the family, either the bride or the grooms, you need to run down to the festival hall as quickly as possible. The first family to entirely get to the doors of the hall will be the winner. The loser, well, they will get to serve drinks to the winning family all night long. And I know that you all know how to drink, so that will be quite a task. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's get this over with. And
All right.
you watch Ulf stand, and he kind of gives a look over to you, Nana. And anybody who feels like they are part of Ave's family, of course, can participate. So if you're like, I'm in,
Yeah.
by all means.
Gotta at least make a good showing. He's my brother.
So Tordrick looks very anxious. He goes, ready. Oh, don't cheat, Grandpa. You with the cane. Slow down. You got to wait till 3.
I just
Waits
want
out.
to get the drink. And he just
No.
Ooh.
Somebody carry that man if it needs to. All right. Ready. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, go.
All right. I need to know who is racing for Ave's family.
I'm
All right.
running,
Oh, you just
but I don't know why.
I'm going to drag Fen along too. I'm just gonna grab him by the neck and just run until he starts keeping up with me.
And Fen does not really want to go where the crowd is going, but now this is a challenge from Nana, and now I need to beat her in this foot race.
Yes, you do.
All right. Everybody who is running, I want an athletics check.
All right.
All right.
Oh no. Nana is much more capable over short distances.
All right. Nana, what did you get?
7.
Fen?
19.
Saga?
4.
Gorbjorn?
Dirty 20.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Oh.
Everybody, the second he says, go, and he just starts cheering everybody on. All of you run. You watch as Ulf instantly eats dirt. Ulf is instantly down.
Yes.
I trip over him.
Everybody kind of stumbles over him. Gorbjorn leaps over him in one single bound.
Yeah.
With the
Like
bear
a
pelt.
gazelle.
Holding a bear pelt. He like football runs. Handedly wins. Nobody even close. He gets to the end, and Ave and Eartha are just kind of like looking at him. Good job, Gorbjorn. Thank you for coming.
Where's drink?
One moment. Can't let you in yet. The rest of you catch up, and with a series of very bad rolls on my side, Ave's family, even though doing very poorly, including Saga, they win. Saga just kind of barely jogs ahead of Ulf, who's now limping, and makes it to the group who's standing in front. Hertha kind of narrows her eyes in on Saga again. Doesn't say anything, just kind of looks her way. Ave's family is the clear winner, even though it was this almost sad display of the group trying to run.
I turned
Nana's
around partway
much
and grabbed
harder
another
to go
snack.
short
You're like,
distances.
you make a detour and come back in with like food in your hand.
I've got a turkey leg.
How very Bugs Bunny.
The rest of the crowd start to approach. The Gothy smiles and motions to Ave and Hertha. And Ave looks over to the group, gives a bit of a smile, goes down and lifts Hertha up and carries her over the threshold. And everyone clapping. Ulf is wiping dirt off of his shirt. The ground was wet.
Nana goes over to Ulf and kind of like leans against his like elbow. That's about as tall as she gets. And she kind of like pats him on the shoulder. Better luck next time, eh, Ulf?
I guess we'll have to wait for somebody else's wedding.
Somebody.
Are you
Nana
going-
does not touch that. Nana does not touch that.
Somebody. You watch as the rest of the people start to make their way over. People begin to, now that Ave has entered, Ave and his wife, people are now able to enter the celebration hall, with Torvek now jogging over to catch up and now be part of the festivities again.
I'm just picturing it in my head.
Ooh,
It's beautiful.
that's tough. Tough on me. Oh, Tordrick goes all the way after jogging slowly. And then he sees all that wonderful ale, all those different drinks. He starts moving just a little bit quicker. Just a little bit quicker. He gets to the side of the stage, gets up to the top, and you see on his back, he actually has a hammer. He takes that hammer, and he makes sure that everybody's paying attention by clashing it loudly on the, well, hopefully it's stable, the stage.
Everyone's a little worked up because now they're like, this is the fun part and we get to eat and drink, but everybody hones in because they're like, we want to get to do that. And attention is turned to you.
Tordrick says, to see so many smiles, yes, what a wonderful celebration. We are all truly blessed this day. But there is still one tradition that must be honored for this union to be complete and before we celebrate. I have to ask this question. Is there anyone here, family, friend, anyone, who objects to this union? If so, speak now. And he hits his hammer down, or forever hold in peace.
There's a moment of silence. And then you watch as Ulf stands up on one of the benches. I think Ave needs to prove to me one last time that he is man enough to wed my sister. And he continues to like brush dirt off of himself. It may be more for him than a test for Ave, but he steps forward.
I see. What's your name, young man?
I'm Ulf, sister to the bride, and more man than that man. And Ave laughs. Ave just laughs. It's just very lighthearted for him.
Chief Ave, if I may say, this man doesn't believe this union should occur. You must challenge this belief, defend it, conquer it, his tradition. So both of you come forward.
Both of them come forward and step in front of you. Ulf, kind of very bravado, stands chest out, ready. Ave just walks over, a little smile on his face.
So Tordrick brings out a couple of these, like little drinking horns here that are about that long. And he looks at both of them and he goes, mm-mm. And he walks around the side of the stage and he brings close to 2.5 foot long drinking horns. He goes, I need these filled. Quickly, someone.
There's some people who it was their job. They're like, we're here to do food and drink. Somebody quickly runs over to fill the horns.
Now, the new groom, your adversary, we will, as George would call it, have a drinking contest so that the groom can show that he can stand tall for his bride. Again, this is tradition, and I hope you both like strong stout. You're okay with that, right? He whispers to both of them.
Oh, not a problem. I think I'll be just fine. Thank you very much, Torvek.
Excellent. We all get to drink after this, so are you all ready?
Woo! And then there is a
Yes,
cheer
I
at the
thought so.
mention of drinking.
Yes. So on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
And everyone just starts cheering and clapping, kind of mostly all cheering for Ave. Let's see. All right. They're pretty even for a moment as you see they both go fully in. Ave kind of that calm, soft demeanor, and then it instantly turns into, I need to chug this like my life depends on it. And by just 2 seconds, Ave turns his horn over, showing it's empty.
Yes!
Huge cheer. Ulf finishes his drink and kind of clasps Ave really hard on the back. And they both kind of laugh together for a moment.
Oh,
I can't hear you.
I heard my wiener dogs barking. Sorry.
Uh,
May the gods watch over you as you grow in love. May they bless your home with the peace that passes understanding. May you crown your work with jewels and treasures, and may you forever be thankful for every blessing, both great and small.
Ave smiles and he comes over and he gives you a big hug. And then, you guys lean into each other. He clasps you hard on the side, maybe not as hard as you've seen Ulf hitting him. But he turns and he pulls out his sword and he goes and he stabs it into one of the pillars as high up as he can reach. And the sword stays there as an ornament for the rest of the ceremony. He returns to his wife. People cheer. Drinks are brought out. Hertha looks over at you, Tordrecht. I know we talked earlier. Is there something for me?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. You should have been served first. Yes, and he starts. He goes running off, looking like he failed. Oh no, he's mumbling to himself. Oh, you silly dwarf, what are you doing? You're too busy thinking about drinking. Yes, that's what it was. Yes, and he goes back behind and he gets some of the help and he goes, please, we must give drink to the bride. Oh, she should have been served first. It should have been here. Way to go. He's got all kinds of things going on in his mind. None of them are good.
Somebody quickly hands you the drink that you had been working on earlier, and hands it off as quickly as they can. Should I bring it over, or Mr. Celebration Master?
Yeah, I better do this. Yeah, he grabs it and he slowly walks over. Oh, he's very embarrassed, and he walks over and he goes down very carefully because he's a little nervous on this one, and he gets down on one knee and he please forgive me. I failed. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
She takes the drink from you. Thank you very much, Tordrick. The fact that you've done this for me at all is very, very nice of you. You have not failed in the slightest. And if I don't get to see you drunk later, if you're sulking off in the corner, it won't be a celebration for me.
Thank you. He smiles with a big bright eyes and smile. Oh, yes. I will start on that right away.
All right. She takes a sip from her drink, and she smiles. Wonderful, Tordrecht. Perfect amount of honey.
Excellent.
Ave then stands. Thank you all so much for being here. Now, please, have a good time. The beginning part, I will say, was for me and Hertha, and the second part is for everyone here in Gullunder, under the watchful eye of Golveg, to get drunk and have a good time. And everyone cheers, and drink and food are brought out, and the party goes up, and people begin to really let loose now that they can they're like, this is the time. Ave takes his bride by the hand as he finishes one of his drinks, and he starts to walk forward and towards the middle of the dance floor. And I believe that is where we shall take our break if we are ready.
That's
all right. How long is our break? Just so I know when the people should come back. 10 minutes. Just got word. We'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll get back to the party and we'll have more fun. Thank you, guys. Be right back.
Hey,
everybody. Welcome back. Back to On the Backs of Gods. We're back from the break and it's time to just jump right back into it. Currently, we are at the party after the wedding. And everybody has just gotten permission to drink and eat and have a good time. Finally, you sit through the niceties. Now we can actually do what we came here to do. People are instantly up and dancing and moving and getting large plates of food, which as quickly as they're being carried out, are being just taken by people. Drinks cannot be poured fast enough. Ave and Hertha, Ave makes his way through the crowd and comes up to you, Roshan. So my wife and I would like to have our first dance. I was hoping you could possibly play for us.
Of course. I've got something special prepared just for the occasion.
Thank you. He leads her over. Nobody else is dancing. It's just them.
So Ro drags a chair up to the back of the little dancing area and sits down and starts strumming on his lyre. Quickly, you recognize a tune from your youth. It is a folk tune from the area about jumping in puddles with somebody that you love. And he actually takes some of Gulveg's holy texts and sings a little bit about Gulveg and also puts in a little bit in Celestial so that only maybe Ave and maybe his wife and a couple others in the crowd recognize it, and then finishes the song in kind of a combination of the children's song and praise to Gulveg at the same time.
That's really
Switches
nice.
to Celestial, kind of like Dean Martin switching to Italian in the middle of a song.
Yeah, kind of.
You sit down and you begin to play for Ave and Hertha, and they slowly dance together, foreheads pressed in close as you can see that they're softly speaking to each other. After the song is over, Roshan, when you finish, other people have joined in. There are other people who were hired to play who waited for you to get through your song and have started to now join in. Multiple people come to dance. After a bit of dancing and moving and just a lighthearted good time that people are joining in on, is there anything anybody's doing in particular at the party? Is there something that they wanted to go do?
Tordrek's drinking, for sure.
Understood. Tordrek instantly after finishing his duties, he knows what he's doing, and he goes to get a drink.
Yeah.
Nana will probably steer Fen at least like past the open bar. We'll each get a drink, just one, so we can say that we did. Be polite. And just kind of post up along a wall where he'll be a little more comfortable. It's not in the shadows, but it's not like right in the middle of things either. So
Yeah, Fen is sticking close to Nana unless something comes up where she just has to interact with someone, and then Fen is going to go find the shadows, and Nana will not find him again until he wants to be found.
You two go off to the side. Gorbjorn, while you are you kind of gone in, I'm assuming found drink and food as you asked for at the entrance. You are then approached by Hertha. I love your bear. It's very nice.
It is not my bear. It is Olve's. I gave it for him.
Oh. Well, congratulations to Olive and his bear then. I'm very glad you came, Gorbjorn.
Thank you. Now, if you excuse me, and then I just take whatever cask is in front of me, swallow it down.
She watches. You're excused then. And she seems to be trying to make the rounds. Tries to find Fen, cannot find him. Gives up very quick.
And who? This is the bride that's looking,
this is
or
the bride who kind of.
okay? I probably would come out of the shadows when I saw her, and I've crafted a small bow for her child. My lady, I've made this. I was told it was customary to bring a gift. I did not know what to get for you and Ave, so seeing that you're quite far along in your pregnancy, I figured I would create something for your child to wield. May she bear it well. And I give her this this small short bow.
She takes the short bow from you, big smile on her face as she looks it over. Thank you very much, Fen. And she leans forward and goes to kiss you on the cheek.
I bear it.
You allow her to come in and kiss you on the cheek. She smiles, and then roll insight for me real fast.
That is 16, which is surprisingly good.
Because you're so close to her, and she didn't disguise the emotion well. When she kissed your cheek and she pulled back and kind of saw the look on your face, there's a moment of, oh no, because Ave had informed her more of customary when speaking to you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Next time, just a nice smile and a nod then.
It's no problem, my lady. My village sends their greetings and their warm regards for your nuptials.
Thank you very much. If you return home soon, tell them I am very grateful.
My lady.
And she makes her way doing the rounds. Eventually, she makes her way back to Ave. Saga, is there anything that you're doing while the party commences?
I think just getting a few snacks, talking to some people, meeting some new people, getting to know what town I'm in, and trying to figure out what's going on fully. I think when it looks like the bride and the groom aren't talking to anyone, I'll go up to them and say hello. Hi, how are you? Is it now or later?
He smiles at you. Ave smiles. Give me one more minute, and when you see me leave, I'll meet you by the statue.
Okay. I've seen other people come up to you both and give you gifts, so I feel like I should do that as well. She pulls off the large pack and pulls out a few things. She's holding like a small doll, and it's got a bunch of needles in it, and she picks out each of the needles and then hands it to the woman. For you and child, and for you, reaches back into the bag and pulls out a little cube. It's like kind of badly painted, a bunch of different colors. There you go.
They both look at their quite strange gifts. Ave looks incredibly amused. Her a bit more confused. She kind of looks over the doll. Thank you very much.
Would you like the needles as well, or do you not? They can be used with the doll or without.
I will let you keep the needles, and if you have to give me a gift at a later date, you can give me those back then.
Very good, very wise. Put them into my bag.
Ave smiles and observes his cube. Just a few more minutes, and I will meet you outside.
I'll go talk to the next person I see.
Yeah, you scan, and somebody catches like a glance of your eye, and you just
and I'm even if they look very uncomfortable, I'm there talking.
You come over and you're like, so this town. All of you can get your drinks and your food, and there's a moment where I'll say all of you get a glance of Ave as he goes and he sets his wife back in her seat, talks to her for a moment. He gives her a kiss on the forehead. Gorbjorn, he catches your eye, and he motions you after him, and Ave makes his way out of the hall.
I will, after that, I will go find Tordrick and just assess how drunk he is. Is he toasted at this point, or?
Tordrick is handling himself very well for the amount of alcohol he's drank, but if it hits him, watch out. Right now he's fine.
Tordrict, Ave wanted to see us regarding that strange plant we found on our way back into town this morning. I think he's ready to see us out by the statue. If you'd like to come.
Oh, of course. And he grabs his tankard and goes along.
Right. Tordrict and Roshan make their way out of the hall. Anyone else?
I would imagine that it would be very hard for Fen and myself not to see Gorbjorn making his way out of the hall, Gorbjorn being such a large boy. So on seeing Gorbjorn departing, Nana kind of like scans the hall for Fen and kind of like tries to catch his eye a minute and point towards the door and make her way there.
And Fen, you're following?
Fen will follow.
Okay.
I'm hopping up and happily leaving because I think now's the time. Yes.
All of you make your way out of the hall. You go outside, and there are people also celebrating outside because the sheer magnitude of people that showed up could not fit into the hall, though it is very large. You all make your way. You can see now, like as you start to leave the group, you can see who's making their way towards Ave, and either it's not just you or it's not just the group with the person who spoke to Ave earlier, that multiple people are coming to speak to Ave under the statue of Golvig. And he stands there. It's a bit cold now that you're away from the festivities and the fires. He stands below the statue with a wave of his hand. He once again sets it alight, and he waits for everyone to approach.
As we're walking out, Roshan probably knows Nana fairly well and goes over and says, bloodstains at a wedding is a good look. I think you're starting something.
Tordric nods.
I should only be so lucky. Unfortunately, I was just about to speak with Ave about that business, but it seems he rather overbooked himself, unless he had something he wished to discuss with all of these people at once.
Oh,
He was gored by a boar.
So
Well,
this
it
is
was-
your blood?
Yes. We didn't have time, really, to change or anything when we got back into town.
I told her to change. I knew it was customary. I told her to change.
Yes, Fen, you told me to change.
Are you in need of healing?
Well, I wouldn't say no.
Well,
Well,
okay. And Tordric will start pressing little spots where the obvious injury occurred. And
There's kind of like a lot of blood obvious around like the side where the armor kind of like meets. You can see a bit of a gap in there and kind of a really gnarly sort of a gouge.
so it hasn't been touched at all then? No?
It's gotten a little bit of healing, just enough to kind of like seal it so that she could actually walk back to town. But
Okay.
like obviously it hasn't had time to heal. It's very new, and it got maybe just enough healing to get it travel worthy before leaving.
So Tordric kind of touches it and says, well, it looks like it's healing. It's going to take some time. Perhaps we should go where we're headed, and I'll take care of it.
That would be appreciated. Thank you, Tordric.
All right, you all make your way over to Ave. It's very quiet here. The music and merriment is just kind of a soft background noise, about the same level as the wind. Ave looks at the group and waits for everyone to gather around. I want to thank all of you for, first off, attending my wedding, and second off, taking a break from the festivities to come speak with me.
no
I was
problem.
told I was expected to.
Yes, I will
you
say
were.
this is a bit unexpected. And our new friend, I'm not sure I got your name.
Saga Bloom.
Saga Bloom.
Hmm.
I can tell you are touched by one of the gods.
I am Lady Satyr. Have you spoken to her?
He kind of raises an eyebrow.
No?
I'm actually not sure if I've even heard of her, but I am sure she is an astounding god.
Oh, I'm failing. I'm trying to spread the word, but I can only walk so far.
Well, now 6 more people know.
Hmm. Oh. Yes.
Well, I want to thank all of you for agreeing to come speak with me, or coming forward and asking to speak with me. Sadly, this is not a topic for a wedding, but I see no other time truly for it. Roshan and Hordrecht, you saw earlier the corruption in the crop. Nana, Fen, and Gorbjorn, you informed me that you were attacked by a corrupted beast. I knew there was a problem. I have been aware for a couple months now, going on 3, that what we are doing is no longer working.
No longer working? What do you mean?
The protection that we seek from Golveg and my abilities and practices that we have done for near centuries now aren't holding up. The corruption is moving in quite readily.
How can this be? What changed?
I don't see the power of the gods as unending. Golveg is astounding and truly a talented, amazing goddess, but she is fighting back the forces of thousands of years of corruption. And sadly, I am not strong enough either, it seems. That is why I wish to speak with all of you, and that's why we need to take a bit more drastic approach, maybe a bit less conventional and slightly less law-abiding.
What laws are you talking about, brother?
There are rumors, and there are stories that there is a way to hold back corruption, that there is an oasis in the Valley of Odin, that there is a place where the corruption does not touch it, even though it is at the center. If we, perchance, went there, took this relic, brought it back, I would reason to believe we could protect the whole West. That if in the center it is able to make an oasis, imagine just on the outside.
Certainly.
And I know I cannot do this alone. I am definitely, I would say, not strong enough, and I haven't been on the road in quite some time. And I will not call it a vision, but Golveg did bless me with an image of strength. And over time, I have found out that it is you. I'm happy to find out who the unknown person in my vision was. So it is nice to meet you.
I saw you as well. I did not know you until tonight, and it's good to meet.
Astounding.
Yes, I have heard about this. We must carry this torch homeward. In the prophecy, it's been spoken of. It's the next step.
I think we can speak of that also at a later date. I'm glad to know this prophecy of this Lady Satyr of yours is being fulfilled. If you say she is a good goddess, then hopefully it's a good prophecy.
She's always right.
Of course.
With respect, my lord, who will offer this protection if we bring this relic back? Is it this Lady Satyr? Is it these goddess sisters? Is it which of the gods will offer us protection from the other gods?
I would use this relic in conjunction with Golveg's power. It is hard to say that this is something that is a gift of gods. We will be using it as men.
That's dangerous, you know.
So is corruption. We do not have another choice. I have been looking around for months. I have been planning. I have been taking action, and there's nothing else man can do besides take action.
I've spent a lifetime praying for the protection of Yggdrasil, and life itself, the life tree itself, has not answered my prayers. But if this is a journey you feel you need to take, you will have my protection along the way.
Thank you.
And mine too, of course.
I truly hate asking you, especially those younger than myself. This will be incredibly dangerous, and if you do not wish to join me, I understand. But we have to head into corruption to fight corruption.
Sounds like one hell of a party. I'm in.
I certainly couldn't let you take all the glory.
Of course. Gorbjorn?
I'll take the bear skin and put it around Ave's shoulders.
Aw.
Like, no need to worry. I am here to protect.
Oh.
Thank you. He looks over to Roshan. You are very gifted, and I would hope you would accompany me.
Roshan looks really surprised, but also scared. And he says, if you got a vision from Golveg, then who am I to say no?
The gods are powerful, but if you wish to say no, I will not judge you. None of us would.
Of course, I'll follow you.
Thank you, Roshan. Honestly, for a terrible topic, it went incredibly well. Thank you. Made that easier for me. I can't say I think I've ever broken the law since I became chief. I won't speak for a younger Ave, but...
Oh no, I've got fastidious records on those stories, but...
And we won't speak of those at my wedding.
Not at your wedding, no.
Now, this is going
Later,
to...
however.
I suppose if we're all in the wilderness together, we can tell horrible stories of me if you like. Now, this is definitely going to seem like me being very aware of this, as I was, and spending a lot of time preparing. I have, based on visions and knowing you, I have acquired coats and shoes, boots, climbing gear, appropriate provisions and rations based on who I assumed would be accompanying me. Saga Bloom, we may have to make sure yours fits. I've just been having to assume.
Oh, good. I'll fix it.
Sir, Hertha knows about this, correct?
There is a pause.
Oh, Ave.
Hertha knows enough. She knows that I'm going to go do something that is a bit reckless, incredibly reckless. But I informed her that I would be going with a large group. She is the only one who knows.
Mm.
No one else can know.
And in your absence, the new matriarch will rule in your stead?
I
Mhm, mhm.
honestly trust her more than I trust myself with this. I think she will do quite a job, and honestly has gotten more authoritarian the more pregnant she's become, and I think she can handle it quite handedly. But we have to go about this a bit secretively, seeing as the nature of it goes against the rules of the West and is a bit taboo. We will go through the woods. We will not be taking the main roads. We will not be making stops in other towns, and we will not be making communication with anyone else. This is between us. I have prepared
It's for the best.
rations. I have also prepared a drop for us to pick up rations along the way before we enter the valley. We will not be able to take horses, mainly because traveling through the wood, and also I would feel terrible bringing any creature into the valley without consent. This adventure could take us into the mountain. I do not know how far. I do not know what is there. I do know, as much as I know, in this I do not know much. We are going to be gone for, I can only assume, at least 2 months. Perhaps longer.
Sensible. It's a long trek.
This is the only option that I can find. If we do not find a way to end this corruption, it will consume us.
How can you come with us and miss the birth of your child?
I understand that I may disappoint people and that I may miss very important moments in my child's life and in my wife's life. But there's no part of me that would send you on your own.
Ave, I speak to you as a friend. Have you ventured into the Valley of Odin before? Have you seen the things that come from there? You may not just miss your child's birth, but your child's entire life.
And if I do not go into the valley, then my child may not have a life. I am willing to take this risk. You all have agreed that you are willing to take this risk. And who would I be to step back now? I will be coming with you. I've also been planning for a very long time, and there's a bit of that young spirit left in me. I do know what comes from the valley. I've never taken a step inside against the law. But must be done.
You're a brave man. I have seen your parlor tricks before. I hope they prove useful.
So do I. If anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. I do have more details, but I do not wish to share them until we are closer to the valley. But if you want to ask something of me, I am happy to answer to the best of my abilities.
My only question is, when do we leave?
Thank you. I also hate to put such a time frame on it. We're leaving in 3 days.
What? Why not now?
I think that some people in our group may have family and connections that they may like to deal with before they go. I need to make sure that Galunder can survive without me, which I'm sure it can. It did so for years before me. But there are some loose ends all of us need to tie up, and then we'll be ready to go. I hate to keep you waiting.
All right.
I dare not make my way back to Briarheart because my parents will not let me go if they see me again. Both of my sisters have gone and rarely, if ever, return. I am the last one, and for them to know that I may not return from this would break their hearts. Do you have a trusted agent in the village that, if I do not return, can return word to them?
Yes, that will be Hertha's burden to bear. She will not personally go out, but she will, if we do not return in a set amount of time, send word to the people that need informing.
Thank you, my lord. The corruption must be stopped.
I agree.
Nana does want to put a hand on Fenn's shoulder and just kind of murmur under her breath, "Worry not. If you fall and I don't, I'll make sure that word gets back to your parents. I'll go personally."
I actually don't flinch or recoil at Nana putting her hand on my shoulder.
All right. Also, speaking of your village, we will be making our way in that direction, but we will not be going through out of respect for your village, and it seems to keep you with us and not break anyone's hearts too soon. Thank you all. For Golveg and for the people of Golunder and everyone else who lives around us.
Indeed. May Golveg's light protect us as we go.
Of course. Now, I hate to have taken you all from the party. Just push this from your mind. It will be a burden for us another day. Please. Go enjoy yourselves. Get incredibly drunk.
We'll have to make merry to make sure the rest of the village doesn't catch on.
Of course. Thank you all. Is there anything else?
As there's silence, Tordric starts singing like a little dwarven chant that the dwarves, when they're going to go party, they all have like this little chants that they do, and he's kind of like, "Good food, good meat, good friends, let's eat. Good friends, good meat, let's drink." He starts that kind of thing. He starts dancing. "Come on, let's go back and have some fun."
Orbjorn will follow this conga line to the.
That's exactly what it is.
Beautiful.
So you see like this tiny dwarf with a giant hammer.
Leaning down to get your hands on your shoulders.
I have to like squat a bit. But yeah.
Saga.
I had been joining them, but yes.
Would you mind staying behind and speaking to me for a moment?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll join the rest of you shortly. The rest of you make your way back. I will wave my hands at you. I would like everybody else to take their headphones off and not be part of this conversation.
Ooh, secret whispers!
All right. I'm assuming only Saga can hear me now. All right. He kind of pulls you to the side and waits till everyone's farther away. Now, I'm very grateful to have a stranger with me. And that is because you can be impartial. If something happens to me, do not let them cremate me while we are in the Valley of Odin.
I have heard that if the correct rituals are not done, the corruption can overtake you.
That is what I am worried about, especially being touched by Golveg, and he motions to the white marks on his skin. Even if I am ash, I cannot promise that I will not add to the corruption if I were to die there.
Oh. Well, I will speak with the Lady Satyr, but if you wish it, I will try.
Thank you. Just, if I fall, prevent them from immediately cremating me, as would be their instinct, which is the correct instinct, I will have a scroll in my bag, and that scroll will tell you what you need to do.
All right. Could I have it now, or should we wait until you die? Or, well,
Let's go with if.
Oh, yes, if.
Let's go stick with if. Or if I'm to become ill and I cannot communicate, there will be a scroll. I will keep it on me, and you may take it once I fall. If I fall, you've got me saying it now.
Well, I mean, if you bring it up, okay, sorry.
Understood.
All right. The in the prophecy that I was told, we must. The next part, once we carry the torch homeward, is to stand in the sky and watch the birds of soot fly into the horizon. Do you know any of this? About any of this?
I'm terribly sorry. Your goddess speaks in riddles, and it's not my forte.
Yes, I've gotten used to it. I guess I don't notice. All right, it'll come.
Thank you very much, Saga. And also, as you can see, there are many people here. The inn is full. You just met Nana, even for a brief moment.
Which is that?
My sister. Did you see she had the blood on the side?
Yes, the wounded one. Yes.
Yes. She may not like this, but I am offering up her home for you to sleep at. I do not want you to have to camp outside.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. It is a little cold, but I love to make new friends. So thank you very much.
Of course, just tell her that I said it was fine, and I'm sure she will welcome you with open arms.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, please go enjoy the celebration.
You as well. Congratulations. And as you were saying, you've been saying things about being old, but the heart that loves is always young, so don't fret.
Thank you. And he smiles and begins to walk back with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get the rest of the gang back in. Come back to me. Join me. Join me. He just popped up.
Bing.
Phones. Come back. Nana. Headphones. There we go. All right. Do I have everyone back?
Gosh. I mean, I didn't really want to bring my new character out this soon, but if you... Just kidding.
Yikes.
I died now, I guess, guys. Rolling characters.
Whoops!
New characters? Cool.
All of you return back to the festivities. Ave and Saga returning a bit after the rest of the group.
If you can keep going if you had more.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go find the girl with the bloody side. Is she probably drinking, or what is she doing?
I'm probably towards the back of the festivity hall. I'm probably chatting with my elf friend Fen. Low tones, just sort of try to keep a low profile, stay at least not suspicious to the rest of the party goers.
Hello, Nana, is it?
Yes, Nana. Your name was Saga, is that right?
Yes. I thank you so much for letting me stay at your house tonight. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Glad to have company.
It's very good to meet new people. This is going wonderfully. Normally these prophecies are not so smoothly smoothly done. I spent a full week in a town once chasing a dog around, and a cat. I had to feed its shadow to the sun. It took a while, but I got it done. But yes, anyway, here's better.
Glad to meet you. You deal in prophecies a lot, then?
Yes, it's been my mission.
And Nana wants to sort of like lean in a little bit just so that we can stay quiet and not be overheard by any of the carousers kind of like having a party around us. What does this prophecy have to do with my brother?
Well, I can tell you. It said I had to find the man who dances, whose face was burned white, and that is your brother, I believe.
Honestly, it strikes a very familiar image. It would be hard to miss him.
Yes. There's not very much. Usually, how Lady Satyr does her prophecies is the least amount of information and the most obtuse information as possible, and then I need to work it out. And so that's all I have about him.
No news from this prophecy as to what his involvement might be, or what he's meant to do for you, or
no. I may be getting that next time. I don't know. When I get the next prophecy, I can maybe speak to Lady Satyr, but she doesn't usually answer me unless I'm getting a new prophecy.
What does his
How
prophecies
often
tell you?
When I finish one, I get the next one, and it just depends on how long it takes. I've been doing this for 3 years, so it's been a while.
And do any of your prophecies come true?
Oh, all of them do, yes.
For example?
Always. Well, this one actually has obviously come true. I had to. I can tell you the full prophecy, and then you'll understand here. A light in the west sits south of the mountain. There dances a man with a face burned white. If offered a chance, stab the goddess of spear and fire, which now illuminates your beacon. Follow your beacon towards the corruption and carry the torch homeward. So yes, that was your brother, and the spear was the wedding, and you participated in that one, Nana, and yes, and then carrying the torch homeward. There's one last line, but we haven't gotten to that part yet, so I left that one out.
Where is homeward?
Here, I believe.
But where is your home?
Oh, I don't know.
Where do you come from?
I have no idea.
Don't remember?
No. I stumbled out of the water 3 years ago and started on my quest.
You must have stumbled hard.
I'd say so, yes. I think I may have fallen into the water. I'm not sure. But Lady Satyr has guided me since then, so everything is going fine.
And if we don't fulfill your prophecy, will the future turn out any different?
You see, I've never not fulfilled any of them, so I can't answer that question.
So if I were to take my bow and fire an arrow into that wall, and then draw a target around it, would that make me have hit the target?
Yes, you would have hit it, yes.
All right. You should be fun.
So nice.
Strange.
Nice. Yes, do you know anything about birds of soot?
Birds of soot.
It's the last line of the prophecy.
Like ravens and crows.
That may be it. So glad it's much easier to figure these out when I'm with other people.
Well, riddles often are a lot easier when you have someone to bounce ideas off of.
Many birds otherwise roll in soot, though, to get the mites and bugs out of their feathers. So it could be any bird, not just the soot black bird.
Well, the final line is shed not a tear until you stand in the sky and watch the birds of soot fly into the horizon. I believe the tears may be the next prophecy that it's talking about. It has to do with tears. So that's probably that, but we'll need to find the soot birds.
Are these prophecies spoken to you, or do you read them?
No, I see them.
You see them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we can do? Any way that we might be able to use these prophecies to help this mission go off without a hitch?
If Lady Seder is guiding me, everything always goes well.
All right. Well, I suppose between Lady Seder and Golveg, we can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
All right. You all talk to each other in the corner. Saga has a place to stay the night.
And
Nada was
friends.
not expecting that, but obviously Ave set her up to do a good deed, voluntold.
Is there anything else people would like to do before the end of the ceremony? Is there anything in particular, or is it just trying to pretend like you aren't going on a horrible, deadly mission, eat and drink and dance?
Does Ave go back to Hertha?
Yes, he goes back to Hertha.
Okay. Just before things start to melt down with everyone feeling really good and they start moving out, Torger's going to go over to the couple and he is going to do a quick ceremony for them where he kind of hums a dwarven tune, and this blue almost looks like the waves from the ocean come from his hands, and there's sparkle from within it as well, kind of like sea mist, and it just kind of slowly goes over them both like as a protection. And he says, for both of you, and then he walks away.
You hear stuff, thank you, as you walk off. You can see them smile as you start to turn. The rest of the party goes off without a hitch. People drink, people get incredibly drunk. There's only a couple fights, which end abruptly, mostly by people swinging wide and falling over. But besides that, besides being the wedding of the chief of Golunder, it comes down to what every wedding is everybody gets drunk and then wanders back to their room somehow. All of you make your way back home. Nana, you are now accompanied by Saga, who will be staying the night with you.
The next 3 days.
Oh dear.
So Tordrick asks Ro if Ro wants to. Well, we've got 3 days. So are you still? I mean, the party just kind of started, didn't it? We can keep going till the morning, right? I mean, we've got a day to rest, I suppose, even 2 maybe, before we leave on this grand adventure.
Ro kind of like looks down, but at the thought of that, just kind of says "fuck it" and
do it.
Follows Tordrick to wherever he is getting the most high-proof alcohol from.
Tordrick and Roshan start the after party.
Yep.
And I'm assuming get completely wasted in honor of the wedding and in honor of adventure. And maybe to quell some of those nerves. Something to distract.
Yep. Absolutely.
most of you, the people who don't live in town or have not gotten a room, Ave also will offer a room to you, Gorbjorn and Fen. There's a point where he addresses both of you to see where you are staying the night for the next 3 days and what works best for you. Gorbjorn, he addresses you first.
I will have to go back to my campsite. I have unfinished business there.
Understood.
I should be back a day before we leave.
All right. I'll hold on to your coat then, and your bear. He then goes over to Fen. You said you could not return home. I will offer up, sadly the inn is full. I will offer up my home, or Nana's. There's a seem to just continue to offer up her place.
Yeah, thanks.
If that's all right with you, Fen, I'm not sure what suits you best.
It's possible I could stay just outside of town. I don't want to be a bother to anyone. I can lend my labor to the woodworker in town, any craftsman. I have preparations I need to make over the next few days if we are going where you say we're going. So I'll not be a further trouble to you.
Not a trouble at all, and I do not see you causing much trouble in town. But stay where you are most comfortable.
Thank you, sir.
The party winds down. Tordrick and Roshan start their after party. Nana and Saga return to Nana's place. Saga, it's a room, roof, walls, actual cushion. Not half bad, and you don't have to pay for it.
Hey.
It's a beautiful place.
It's nothing special, but thank you.
So spacious. Lovely.
I hate to see where you were staying before, but you're welcome to any amenities I have, so long as you're here.
Thank you. I find whatever jars of like pickled stuff you have and begin snacking.
She just starts eating your food.
I mean, I said you're welcome to it, so that's where. And besides, I'm going to be out of town for 3 months. It's just as well I don't have to worry about getting the refrigerator cleared out, right?
Oh. I'm here to clean it out for you.
Perfect. Saga is that roommate. Yes.
The prophecy says I eat all of your pickles. It's what it says.
All of them. Prophecy says I got. Lady Sater's always right.
Yes. Lady Sater told me to eat all the cookies out of the cookie jar, and that's what I did.
Oh, of course.
The party winds down. People stumble back to their homes and their rooms. The music fades and the torches are put out. Ave and Hertha return to their home, and the night grows quiet. The next 3 days, time to prepare. We're going to go through it pretty quick. If there's anything you personally want to do to get ready, Ave informed you that he acquired climbing gear and clothing for colder environments, that he also has been preparing rations, but you are also welcome to get things that you would like as well. Let's start with whoever's ready. I don't want to point at somebody. Roshan, what would you like to do?
So Roshan wants to do 2 things. He wants to go to Hertha the next day, and he would ask her, Hertha, just in case my mother and aunt need any help at the inn, I was wondering if you'd be able to stop in and check on them for the next couple months. He's trying not to say too much because he doesn't know if he could talk to Hertha about it. And also, perhaps they could help when the baby is born. I know my aunt and mother both love children, so they wouldn't mind having you around whenever you can.
Of course, Roshan. I would be happy to check in on your mother and aunt. I'll do it often, as I will also be alone for a bit. So I'll be happy to have the company. And then, of course, the help. Hopefully you all will come back maybe quicker than expected.
Of course. With Ave's guidance, I'm sure we'll be quick.
Keep an eye on him. He's a rascally one, I'll promise you that.
Of course, ma'am. And the other thing that Roshan would like to do is go to the person in town who sells medicinal herbs or things that could make him a little braver, and just purchase a small satchel of medicinal herbs for the trip.
All right, a small satchel of medicinal herbs. You know that there's like a tent behind the bakery, and that this person is just in high supply of herbs.
It's got Ye Old Kratom Shop written on the front.
You walk over to this person, and it's just kind of like a spindly old man who's like, herbs, yes. Puts
yes.
his hands in all of it.
Lovely. How much will 6 gold pieces get me?
Oh, you see his eyes get big. Oh, well then. He watches he had like a duffel bag. He was like a bag about like this size that he was holding some of his things in, and you watch him dump it out. And he starts to just kind of shovel it in with his hand. And now his hand is just kind of coated in herbs from like where his sweat was. So now he just has herb hands, and he tightens it off. There you go. And I'll take more. And if you come back, I'll give you some more. That's a lot of money.
Perfect. Thank you for that. This should last a while.
Yeah. And he like licks his hand to get like the herbs off.
I imagine as Roshan is like exiting the tent, I am entering. We kind of bump into each other, and I'm like,
oh,
what are you here for? Like, I need sage. It's out of season. What use do you have of this?
My mother needs cooking herbs.
All right. I'm just trying to get a fortified healing kit ready to go. Good venturing. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
You would also like to talk to Herb Man in a tent in the alley?
I'm trying to assemble a healing kit. Is what I'm trying to do. So just grabbing some last minute ingredients. I just thought it'd be funny to run into Roshan.
Yeah.
There
Honestly,
for an entirely different purpose.
Yeah, if you toss like a copper my way, you can definitely get whatever herb you're looking for a little kit.
Just the things I haven't been able to gather for myself because they're out of season. That's all.
Yeah, with his wet hands, he like picks up some dried sage. Copper.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir. And Fenn's gonna spend the next few days carving down some rowan branches to make some arrows, arrow shafts. He'll probably have to buy the heads from a smithy. He's not much of a metalwork guy, but as far as fletchings and shafts, he can do himself with things that he's found. Probably gonna try to gather some fibers to make some not rope but string and lashings in case we need to set traps or trip lines or anything like that. I just, knowing that we're going to be away from things, I'm just trying to gather things up that we would need to be out in the wild, that being something that I should probably take care of for the party, because we know we can't count on Nana to do everything. And when I'm not busy doing that, I'm probably keeping a pretty close eye on Saga, because this girl kind of creeps me out. So in not quite a stalker way, but What is
not
this
not
person
not a
about? Sort of.
stalker way.
That's not a
But
good
I'd
way to
like a
start.
stealth roll.
Just stalking
But
you in a
kind of
non-stalkery way.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
concerned, not stalking.
Mm.
Ben, you could give me a stealth roll, and Saga, I'd like a perception roll, please.
All right.
An 18.
Oh no. Oh no. Um. 21.
Oh. You catch him occasionally.
Hello, Fen.
You've seen, yeah.
Saga. Well, so you're coming with us on this journey. Do you have any skills?
Yes.
Have your visions shown you what lies in the Vale of Odin?
No. I have no idea.
There are dangerous things out there. I'm concerned for your safety, and primarily for the safety of friends of mine who you might endanger by being along. Can you defend yourself? Can you wield a weapon?
Have you heard something about me?
I've heard nothing about you, and that's what concerns me.
Okay. Well, it'll be fine then.
All right. I suppose we shall see.
Mm-hmm. I've survived this long, and Lady Satyr has kept me from severely injuring myself thus far.
Have you survived this long in the Vale of Odin?
No. But almost everywhere else.
All right. Have no choice. Ave seems to trust you. Nana seems to trust you, so I have no choice but to trust you myself.
Thank you. Well, I mean, it's wise of you to mistrust.
I'm glad to have earned your approval.
And Saga's going to continue. I think she's just picking some herbs. She likes to, whenever she goes to a new place, she likes to pick whatever's around. Since she's always going around.
She doesn't go down the alley, but just down the alley where the herb man is picking different herbs.
Yes.
By the by, Saga, that's nightshade. That's poisonous. You don't want to eat it or smoke it or do cooking. So
that's good to know.
If you intended to make a poison, then by all means you're on the right track. But
I was going to make tea, but this is good. You see, this is why Lady Satyr, she has my back. That's why you're here.
All right, unknowing agent of an unknown god. Wonderful. Good morrow to you.
Fen quickly exits the conversation. Saga, is there anything else you'd like to do in these 3 days?
Yes, she just is gonna go out going around picking some herbs, not knowing what they are. Again, probably picking some dangerous things, whatever mushrooms that she sees, just to hold on to. And because you can sell those in other places and they're exotic. And probably wants to just pick up a few trinkets around town, maybe buy some small little bits and bobs. She likes to collect things from wherever she goes. So if she finds anything interesting, she'll pick that up. Nothing useful though.
All right. I will get back to you in a moment if I have some trinkets for you. Is there anybody else who would like specifically to get anything done before the 3 days are over? Nana?
Nana's going to be taking these 3 days to repair her leather armor. It's not just the nicest armor she has, it's also the best. And trying desperately to save the cloak that got boar juice on it. And that's just not going well. So she's also taking breaks to make sure that she's got some provisions just kind of set aside for herself, just in case anything happens to the party provisions. probably check in on. Oh, good. Did I drop?
You're back.
And right now.
Okay, good. She'll probably take a bit at some point just to sort of check in on the different party members around the town, just kind of like see where they're at with their preparations, if there's anything that she can do to help them find stuff. I mean, a lot of them aren't from the town, so she may as well point them in the right direction if they need it. But kind of like take some time out of that time as well to just sort of sharpen up her spears. She wants to be ready.
While you are walking around town, getting things ready, buying something to hopefully get the stain out of your armor, you see a baker wave you over. Yes. Ave asked me to make something special for you, and I have finished.
Oh, well, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
No, it is very important. 1 second. And she whips inside. Her braid like smacks you in the face a little bit. Just ends clip you as she rushes back inside. She runs.
This is not the first time this has happened.
No, she rushes back out holding a leather satchel. Satchel's not the right word, but a leather bag. Closes at the top. Right, he said that this would do you some good, and she opens it, and inside it is packed salt, and inside of this you see drying, and most of them completely dried out, not a jerky, but berries, which have been kind of preserved in salt.
Nice. Okay.
And if you finish these, if you find more, you can just put them right in.
That's fantastic. Thank you. That'll be a wonderful help.
Not a problem. Happy to help out with your need for a large sum of berries.
It gets.
I don't judge. If you need a lot of berries.
I get lonely for them out on my patrols around the woods. It just the good Galunda berries. Nothing like them.
Galunda does have the best berries. And also there's the man in the alley who sells pretty good stuff too if you're just, when you're out and alone on your hunts. Small businesses have to support each other.
Absolutely. I am 100% on board with that. And you remember, next time you need to make a mince pie, I will be certain to look around for just the right animals for you.
That is nice of you. And I'll make sure to put some berries on the side if that's what you want.
Maybe so. We'll see. Whatever's in season.
Is there anybody else needing to do something?
Yes, Tordrick, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Tordrick is going to wake up with a bad hangover, begin praying immediately, asking for a bit of forgiveness for not getting that drink for the bride properly taken care of before even himself. Oh my goodness. After that, he is going to start looking for some items because he wants to quickly brew up a batch of ale and keg it with some kegs that he gets off the inn, so that when everybody gets back, we have a special drink for us all. It's kind of like a celebration ale, if you will. And so he wants to take care of that. And in the meantime, he's going to also look for small kegs because he's got to find some way to carry some ale if he's going to be gone for 2 months.
Oh, yeah. If you're looking for kegs, easy enough to buy a couple and have those so that you can just sling them over the shoulder, or put them in front like one of those dogs on the mountains.
Oh, yes.
Have it at the ready for people lost in the mountain.
The St. Bernards.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
I would say if you throw
St. Bernard.
If you throw a silver at me, I can give you 2.
Oh, he absolutely gladly, out of his purse, he brings out the change. Absolutely.
And You notice that people seem to be selling things in town a bit cheaper to everyone. If any of you go by a place, and can only assume that it's probably Ave asking for discounts or saying he'll pay people back later, especially if anyone's pressed for information. Anything else, Tordrick?
As long as he's able to brew his own batch and keg it up before he leaves, I think he'll be okay. He's going to be doing a lot of praying. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
All right, and Gorbjorn.
So Jorborn would have made back to his camp before the sunrise and probably slept through his hangover. But then waking up in the afternoon, he would have gone to his original family, his wolf pack, and he still takes care of it, mostly just making sure that the elderly pass safely and don't get corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And a specific elderly wolf named Bolo has an injured paw, and he's kind of more scared about it. So if anything, he wanted to make sure if he could either treat him now or if he has to deal with it now, kind of thing, because he won't be here for 2 months.
Yeah, you can see the injured paw on the wolf. When you approach, the wolf doesn't really get up, kind of just stays laying down, head up, not really in a defeated, unmoving pose. The paw looks pretty bad. It just seems like trying to keep the weight off and not show that it hurts. You're welcome to do a medicine check. I'll give you advantage on wolves.
Yeah. 2 19s.
There you go. It's easy enough, especially because you're concerned and you don't want it, and you won't be here to see if it goes wrong, because it could just heal on its own just fine. Mm-hmm. But you do kind of get some herbs and you chew them up in your mouth and you just kind of make a little paste and rub it onto the paw. Just try to keep things in order. Make sure that if you're going to have to stave off infection, I wouldn't be here to help out if something went wrong. And you take care of your other family. Anything else?
Other than that, I would have came back.
Okay. On the third day, if everyone's ready. All right. On the third day, all of you meet Ave, who you see has some very large packs with him. One of them you can kind of see part of like a jacket sort of sticking out of, and you can see that it's like a very thick material, this jacket. He also has it kind of looks like a dad going on vacation camping. And it's just, he is fully stocked up and ready with his large bag. All right. Thank you all for coming back. I'm ready if you are.
Was born ready.
All right. Onwards then. Ave takes the lead for a moment until we hit the woods. And after telling you where he would like to head, keep into the woods, head towards the edge of the valley. Rangers are able to take over easy enough. And Nana and Fen lead the party. All of you are given rations. These rations, not counting the berries, these rations will last you 5 days. You end up using 4 of them by the time you reach the edge of the valley. When you reach the edge of the valley, there are these large statues of spears, and you can see that there's carvings all around them, as if these were beacons to try and keep the corruption back. Now that you're close, you can see the ground here. It almost looks waterlogged. The coloration is darker in the grass, and it almost looks like if you touched like a blade, it would just kind of mush under your hand. The ground is also cracked in a few places, not in the sense of you think it's going to split, but you can also see deep into the valley that it looks like the trees begin to wane, and it starts to clear out. And you can almost see where the trees stop deeper into the valley. Ave seems to be looking around. There should be something in one of the trees around here. If I could just have a few perception checks real quick.
Better than before.
Yes, Gorbjorn, what's up?
Natural 20.
Are you? It's been only good
Wow.
rolls this whole.
Nothing
Crazy.
else.
Combat is just
Wow.
ones. Just
Gorbjorn, you see Ave looking to the trees, and you look up and immediately see multiple sacks tied up by ropes in the trees, which is what Ave was more than likely looking for. It seems that either himself or somebody else had done a drop. There are multiple rations for a very long period of time in these bags, including some more climbing gear and things of the like, but mostly food. These things can be taken from the tree and brought down. We'll split up the rations later, and I'll tell you how many you have. Ave also takes out all of the coats, which you see are incredibly thick, and there's a piece that goes over the mouth, and it's just, it looks like you're going to be diving like straight into like just a snow pile. Just, these are incredibly thick coats out of a very dense material. Ave asks,
Put my arms down.
Ave asks everybody to put their jackets on. Everybody stands at the edge of the valley, ready to enter. Ave looks to the group, gives a nod. Thank you. This is your chance to turn back. And I
After
only
we've come
said
all this way.
was a long way.
And
All
your
right.
own, my lord.
All right. For the West, then. For our families.
And for Golvig.
For Golvig.
Lady Satyr.
And of course, the lovely Lady Satyr.
Naturally.
And for Nettle.
For every god that helps us and maybe needs assistance from us every now and again. All right. Onwards. And you all take your first steps into the valley, instantly freezing cold. Stepping past the spears, it almost goes straight through the jackets. You are cold and the ground feels weird under your feet. The air is heavy and thick, but it's cold when it enters your lungs. It almost stings, just this difference between one step into the valley. And that is where we are going to stop for today.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. That was great. First session. Woo!
Thank you.
That was so great. Thanks, Jillian.
Oh no, thank
Thanks.
you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being here for our first session. We will be back next Monday, same time, same place. Please come back again if you want to hear the rest of the story on the backs of gods. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for being here.
bye bye.
Bye.
Excited for next time.
Next time.
Must fulfill the prophecy.